RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
Yeah, what's good, yo? Welcome to another episode of Real Talk, where as always, the shit's real, we talk about it. I'm your host for tonight, Pat Scorpion, the New England representative, and as always, I got my man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yo, what it do is Shuttleworth the God, aka the GOAT artist, LB, Lauderdale boss. You know what time it is, RingGangRadio.com in the building.
Yes, sir. Ring Gang in the house forever and always. And as always, I got my other man with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
What's good, y'all? You already know who this is. Your boy King P, Bodega Boxing in the building. Ring Gang Radio, let's go.
Hey, Bodega P, straight from the sewer. You know, as always, you know, he's taking a little break, or he's actually just finished fighting crime, fighting, you know, big rats and and niggas in pajamas and shit like that. You know, as always, we salute you for your service.
The fuck?
Hey, this is New York, man. You see a whole bunch of crazies.
I don't know. They neck and neck with Florida, so.
I
think we won the crazy battle.
I haven't seen Florida crazy in about 10 years, give or take. And Florida was.
Nigga, you got people carving Trump on manatees down here.
Oh yeah, I heard about that wild shit. Yeah.
Oh, that's like
you.
You gotta be so fucked up to do some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. All the fuckery I'm dealing with, it's like, man, some of these niggas will put me, I'm fighting with these rat ass niggas that'll put me in contention with fucking Zepeda Baranchik fight of the year type fights.
It's just crazy right now, but
yeah,
everybody can just unwind and enjoy Ring Gang before we get back to the craziness.
Yes, sir. So before we get up with our show, look to apologize for anyone who was who was waiting, for us to actually start the show. We know that we're on CPT with this. We usually aren't, but sometimes shit happens, man. So we apologize for anyone who might have been listening, who was waiting for us to actually start the show. But our
bad.
Tonight's show is pretty much it's going to be a year in review, 2020. It was an interesting year for boxing, for better or for worse. There was there had its highs, it had its lows, it had some real horrible lows. My God,
had some mids.
Yeah, and then of course the 4 months, give or take, of no actual boxing on, no live boxing, that is. So yeah, it was a year to remember or not to remember, depending on on your feelings about professional boxing. Us, we have our superlatives, for the whole year, and then we'll give our choices, and obviously there's gonna be some may induce more fuckery responses than most. But that's how we do it here at Ring Gang Radio. Real talk.
Yeah, the most unbiased boxing podcast. The most flavorful, the dopest, the most talented, most creative, and just the realest, man. So y'all about to get these Ring Gang awards.
Yes, sir. And then the first superlative we're going to start off with is Fighter of the Year. Now, I know you're saying, no, 2020, well, damn, like half the year, none of these cats were even fighting. Well, that may be true, but, Fighter of the Year, there's always at least some fighters in there who managed to accomplish something in there that's worthy of, that's a highlight not only of their own careers, but also of the whole year. So to start off, I'll let LB start off. So LB, man, who do you think was worthy of being RGR's Fighter of the Year?
It comes down, to me, there's only really three candidates.
This one's kind of easy, honestly, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, it is. It's to me personally, there's three candidates. But there's two sexy picks that it's going to be either or. But I'll give props to a third person as well. Mine would be Teofimo Lopez because he did what he said he was going to do, take over.
Yes, sir.
You know, he was also one of my favorite predictions. You know,
of course, he had to put that shit in. I knew he was going to rub that shit in.
You know, it was either him or Fury, but I feel like Fury's there for another award, or he might like. I don't know. I guess because I saw him. You know what happened? I knew the fucking Fury fight was gonna plan out the way it was. And seeing it happen like that, it's almost like, damn. Like, I don't even want to get that as the fighter of the year. Like, it was too easy, nigga. You can't get fighter of the year beating Wilder, nah. Like, so Lopez gets it for me, but I do want to say Joe Smith, you know, deserves some recognition as well, because he fought 2 fights this year where he was coming in as the guy who really wasn't supposed to be the more talented guy, really wasn't supposed to be the winner, and he dominated.
He did. You know, the Alvarez fight in particular was hella impressive.
Super impressive. Like he actually outdid Kovalev performance.
He did.
It only needed one time.
Facts.
No remixes and hold on. We gonna add the Brat and Jagged Edge too. See what y'all niggas could do on this one. Nope, just it's like when you see people like talk about letting your hands go, that's the fight. That's what you mean. Like, so that's all I got to say for fighter of the year.
I mean, from myself, there's really one choice for me, and you mentioned one of them, and that was Teofimo Lopez. Not because, I personally thought Teofimo was going to lose, but then, he kind of surprised me how he fought Lomachenko. Had his pretty much keeping his gun in the holster for like half the damn fight. And then, even after Lomachenko came on, dude still, he dropped some rounds, but he still put it into second gear to make sure the fight was his. And I couldn't help but be impressed by it. And not only that, Teofimo Lopez is 23 years old. Like this, to me, this is like a shift in a direction because, a lot of young fighters today, they operate more as businessmen rather than boxing. Like, they don't want to really reach the top of their divisions like that. Teofimo being that young and actually being virtual, well, I wouldn't say the undisputed. I'm not gonna get into the whole undisputed argument. He's lineal. He is the lineal champion of that division.
He's the man. He's undisputed in my eyes. Fuck all that shit.
And on top of that,
that's it.
And on top of that, dude was talking that good shit to niggas. Especially obviously, especially the advice that you gave to Wilder, which had a certain section of our boxing media in a frenzy, judging by the many videos that we saw on this, where I'm referring to Lopez referring to Deontay Wilder, who was in the midst of a temper tantrum, as a certain word for a female dog, and people didn't like all that. So yeah, but I fuck with that energy because that's what, like, literally, like if we have a young cat like this doing that, showing that, and being the example, I'm all for it.
Boxing need that energy. I'm tired of all these superstars being 28 and 30 years old when they get their fucking first big fight. Like,
yeah, no, like
done with that shit.
Yeah, it's one thing. It's one thing if there's a reason for it, like an Elida Alvarez, like dude was fighting eliminators and beating good people before he actually got to and actually won it. That's that's a good reason. But when you see cats that know that they can put their asses into gear a lot earlier and there's no obstacles in the way, yeah, and they're not doing it, then that's a problem. So Teofimo Lopez, salute. That's my pick for Fire of the Year.
Salute.
P.
I mean, this is so easy. A caveman could pick this one. It's Teofimo. The fuck, like ain't no sexy pick. There's one pick, and that's Teofimo. I'm sorry. He knocked out. He knocked down, like not in physically, but put down the guy that was at the top. The guy that was top 3 on everybody's pound for pound.
The guy you niggas ain't he was the guy y'all niggas ain't believe in.
Nah, nigga.
I mean, I didn't say he couldn't. I picked Lomachenko, and I was wrong. So it happens. But Lomachenko was number one in my eyes. So you beat the number one guy, like the old saying, like the old Ric Flair saying, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And he beat the man. Yeah, I wasn't gonna do all that now, but he's the man. So
the ad-libs.
Yeah, but so I mean, I could see why people would say Fury. Problem is, I think it was more likely that Fury was going to beat Wilder because most people thought he beat him the first time. So in the second time, it was just like, okay, well, he actually did it. So I mean, maybe you can give him more style points for the way he did it, but I'm sorry, he had a good win, but Teofimo's win was the best win. And in the year that we've had where motherfuckers only fighting once a year, that's the best win you could have. So,
Yup.
Right, and with Fury too, unfortunately, Fury fought before the shutdown, so he had more time to actually get in another fight this year. And had he actually did that, maybe he might pull ahead depending on who his opponent would have been.
Yeah, but then remember all the fuckery with Wilder, so I can't even really blame him for that. But at the end of the day, he was always gonna be the little, because Ring Magazine got all the clout and shit, so they had him as 1 and 2. To me, there's always gonna be just one, but I could understand Fury, but getting a mention, but he didn't deserve the one. That's why I said sexy pick, but
right,
we all know it's Teofimo,
Yeah. And so salute Teofimo, and hopefully Teofimo continues, to keep this type of energy going into 2021, man.
To infinity and beyond, shit, nigga.
Oh, especially but especially now with 135 being what it is right now as a division, it's a live division. It's
the new 147.
Yeah. Well, in more ways than one. But we'll see if it actually does go the way of 147.
It technically has, in a way. If people feel if you want to be honest, 135 was staying lit for the last couple years.
It was, yeah.
To think about it, we've had like the Garcia of Easter, fucking Linares Lomachenko, fucking Tio Kome, we've had I'm sorry.
Yeah, but even the ones even fighters like Ray Beltran, who finally won there.
The top 10, everybody in the top 10, top 5 was mixing it up.
Yeah, Jose Pedraza
consistently. Yeah, Jose Pedraza. Yeah, so you weren't getting that in a lot of marquee divisions. So lightweight is, I think, the next marquee division. When we talk about heavyweights and welterweights, and lightweight's gonna get that respect now.
Yeah, and hopefully that that people are trying to dub the 4 main fighters the 4 kings, in reference to Sugar Ray, Duran, Hearns, and Hagler. They all fight each other, but remains to be seen when we'll see that 135. But hopefully, like I said, Teofimo Lopez leads the charge to some fights being made.
They kind of went back too far with the 4 kings. Y'all could have just went back to them Morales and them.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas say, you know what? Let's just go all the way back.
Well, 4 is the number, so that's why, because there wasn't a 4 from Mexico, at least.
You mean Chavez Jr. couldn't get? Nah, I'm playing.
Oh man, but yeah, Teofimo, salute. You're definitely the RGR fighter of the year. No questions, no questions asked or anything like that. So salute to him. Our second one would be the RGR Fight of the Year. Ooh,
that's easy.
So P,
it's easy too.
Yeah. So P, what do you say about Fight of the Year?
Does it have to be said? Okay, I'll give you the hint. The one where he had 8 knockdowns and ending in an epic knockout. That one,
Yeah.
Enough said.
Enough said. And I'm pretty sure LB probably agrees, and I sure as hell agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This There's no question, no doubt about it. Like,
Um,
if you don't have this as the fight of the year, you're not a boxing fan, or you didn't see the fight. That's it, basically.
Yeah, basically, and I talked about this on our podcast too. The reaction, like in certain members of our boxing media, they were trying to downplay this fight, like this wasn't one of the best fight, like it wasn't the best fight, not in 2020, but it could also rival some of last year, 2019's fights, which were off the chain. It was like,
dude, what fight from 2019 was better than this one? It had too many factors going for it. It's like sometimes you could be too perfect, and this fight was literally too perfect. The only thing it was missing was an audience.
Facts. Yes, it was.
That's it. Other than that, anytime you watch a big fight, you could only hope that that fight is a fraction as good as that one.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, and I know, and when we talked about this previewing it, like we mused that it could be something because we all know Barichek is, if you've seen him fight before, like on Showbox and on the World Boxing Super Series, like dude is a brawler, and we've seen Zepeda, on ESPN, knows like he took Ramirez to his limits. Some that he might have beat him. He beat Pedraza. Everyone knew that dude was a good boxer, but he had never really shown the power. Even though his record says, dude has a good amount of knockouts, and you have Barichek, who's a damn animal. Like, bro, just like he throws heat every point.
Fight. Like,
Pure
if
heat.
you didn't see it, you have to see it. Matter of fact, go watch our podcast. When we talked about it before and after, like, because a lot of people slept on this fight, But Ring Gang, we hold it down.
Ring Gang, and we even said even before when they announced the rollout for Top Rank that this was it was the best fight on the rollout, and how disappointed we were that shit had to get canceled, or postponed to later. So we were on this fight,
Boxing didn't deserve to fight that early. That's what it was.
Yeah, it definitely didn't.
Let boxing, get to a good start where, we on a roll, then let's throw this in there. If you'd have put it in there, because remember, the Franco or Maloney fight was the great fight we had during that time.
Yes, it was.
And then we had White Povetkin and, so on, and then boom, like, okay.
Yeah, we had, Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, Persona 2, we had... Yeah. So during that summertime, though, there were some fights, but that one just blew the door right off the hinges. Like no one expected the absolute fury of that shit. That shit was so crazy. Like, and there was one of the few fights that I didn't even text LB or P or anything like that because I left my phone in the room. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to miss any of this shit.
It was definitely. But then, I don't know why motherfuckers don't give this one its props. Oh, because nobody heard of it. Oh, nobody cared about them. Oh, well, it was Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I seen somebody say, oh, well, it wasn't really 8 knockdowns. It was 5 slips and 2 knockdowns. I'm like, what?
Matter of fact, it should have been 9 knockdowns.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
This kill me sometimes. It's like with these new type of fans, and I see that not only in them boxing, but I see it in everything. Where motherfuckers, they super critical of everything. It's like nobody appreciates something like greatness when they see it, or just something just being, you know what, this is nice. Like just to walk outside and it's a nice day. The temperature is maybe 65, not too breezy, just perfect sun out. Like,
what?
Nigga gotta complain. There's too many birds in the sky, nigga. I don't like the way that tree is getting blown over there.
Word.
Like a lot of fans is on that type of shit. So
and this should have been a fight to unite everyone who calls himself a boxer fan. But like I said, it was telling that you go on YouTube channel when you see a lot of independent boxing media, and there's nothing on it. There's none. Even though the fight's buzzing on Twitter, it's buzzing everywhere else. But you go on YouTube and you don't see shit about this fight. I thought it was low key insulting.
It was, but we got a comment, and this is an excellent point because we did mention this before. Shout outs to Joshua.
Yeah. Yes.
It didn't help that the fight was on ESPN Plus, man.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, and this is where Top Rank kind of
Shooting themselves in the foot again.
Yeah, and like, it's like they still haven't figured out like what to do with their ESPN service, ESPN Plus service. I have it, and I always thought, okay, maybe they put their pay-per-view cards on there, and I understand it, and then they put like regular ass cards on ESPN. I can see how, and then there's no ESPN pay-per-view. It's just you pay the subscription, you get the higher profile fights. But man, they don't know what to. But they're trying to bite off, I guess, the UFC model of doing that shit, and which there are actual pay-per-views. And
then they tried to promote the hell out of it after the fact. Like it's too late then. Like that's like saying like, yo, you chilling on the block and you see a fine bitch, fat ass walk by, but the other homeboy and he on the phone texting, and then he look up and you're like, damn, you missed it, nigga. He trying to look down the street. No, nigga, it's too late. Like it's not the same. Like you didn't catch it at the optimum moment. Like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's one thing about ESPN Top Rank that they need to hopefully get better about. Yeah, because I find like that. I mean, ESPN Plus is cool, but it should have been if this was on regular ESPN. This shit probably would have had more engagement because I saw people on my Facebook watching like they saw like they heard about it like word of mouth or some shit like that, and there was comments about it all over the place.
But see, that's the problem with ESPN. They don't treat boxing like it's a top sport. They always give it secondhand coverage a lot of times.
But in this case, they need a content, so that's what they. But it's one of those things like they didn't know. They just put it on the wrong ESPN channel for the wrong. That's
the problem because they don't believe in boxing like that. They don't make the right strategic moves.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody who knows boxing and objectively no standing shit, they knew that matchup had potential.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like you got people who not really boxing fans, or they don't like it, or something, and it's just a secondhand treatment. And then when it does. It exceeds the excitement value, or it's some crazy shit happened. Then it's like, oh, if you missed it, here.
Yeah, it's
not the same.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, they actually did air that shit on regular ESPN. I think maybe a couple days later or some shit like that.
Like there need to be a special presentation on ESPN at the moment. Like as soon as it ended on ESPN Plus, that shit needed to run on regular ESPN.
Word.
On some like. Fuck it, y'all fucking damn, y'all are let fucking damn, I'll say this politely, football take up everything else. Let boxing get that football treatment for once. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yes, we said that politely, and that is a solid agreement. College football, we gotta make sure we designate, college football, not NFL.
Yeah. Especially, I understand NFL and everything, but college football, like a fight of the year with 8, no. There's nothing at that moment is more important than that. No other sport is gonna come close at that moment.
Word.
I don't care if fucking Jordan came back, played a pickup game with Iverson and LeBron's special referee. Like, no, nothing's beating that fight. Like Floyd would have to get into a street fight with Michael Jai White or some shit. And we're like, oh shit, like nah, y'all gotta put that TMZ footage. Fuck that fight. Like,
yeah. So I mean, definitely, like Ivan Baranchyk, like hopefully, he recovers from that fight, and and he gets to brutalize a soft touch, before he gets into another war with one of these with these wild 140 niggas. And Zepeda, obviously, they give that dude a time. I mean, I know we're waiting for Ramirez and Taylor. I mean, that's the fight that's going to be next, But after that shit is cleared, Zepeda needs a shot in 2021, y'all. Zepeda earned that shot. He stopped the dude that.
Whether it's against a champion or even a vacant title, he deserves something. Shit.
Yeah, his time has come. Like he frankly should have beaten Ramirez too. He should have been had a belt. But that's a different conversation. But yeah, salute to both Ivan Baranchyk and Jose Zepeda for that. It was a great fight. And hardcore grizzled boxing fans like us, man, you know, that shit warmed our hearts just to see that type of effort.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, salute to both of them. A third one,
We're gonna start running through these. We just spent like 24 minutes on 2, but you know those 2 are real important. But my bad, not to cut you off. Sorry about that.
No doubt, no. So KO of the year. You know, I guess
That's easy.
I mean, it's not as easy in this because there was a couple of good ones.
No, this one's a toss-up, but it's just between 2, really.
Yeah, I mean, mine was White versus Povetkin. You know, Povetkin icing this dude. You know, after suffering 2 knockdowns and looked like he was on his way out. You know, ice this dude with uppercuts. Uppercut season, by the way. Uppercut season.
Yes.
Always, forever and always.
It's always uppercut season, man. And this was probably the most high profile. I mean, well, no, it's not the most high profile, but it was high profile, and it was, you know, White was a fucking mandatory for like almost 2 years. You know, Wilder was giving him the jerk around and shit like
it was
that.
A fight we all waited for during the summer too.
Yeah, and then White, you know, White had to really beat some good fighters. One fight, you know, was questionable, you know, because of the testing and shit like that. But you know, but White was beating heavyweight contenders, you know, and unfortunately, you know,
he beat all of them. Should beat all the ones Wilder ain't get.
Yeah, and then, you know, unfortunately, Povetkin was still, you know, hanging around from the previous era. You know, dude's still out there. He's getting older, and, you know, it looked like he was ready to go. But
no one cleaned them up. The only people cleaned them up were from the last era.
Well, Joshua cleaned them up.
Joshua, yeah, he was cleaning up that same era, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Almost don't want to say that count.
Yeah, you know, Michael Hunter, you know, he came close though, but you know, it was a good effort. But you know, we all took that as a sign Povetkin was starting to, you know, starting to go downhill, and then that instead, you know, Povetkin pulls a rabbit out of his hat, you know, and you know, ices dude for like a good minute, like the way it was meme to death. Like the zone was so wild about it, they even put the profanity in their tweet. Like whoever ran that damn account. Like, kind of forgot that you can't, you know, that's a publicly traded company. You can't be out there putting swears in your tweets like that. And he did another one, or he or she did another one. So yeah, that was my choice for KO of the year. That shit was just spectacular. LB, what about you?
Damn, yo, King P, right? Like, this is a little harder one to think about, but there's like a handful that you know that's up there. White Povetkin, Tank LSC, that's definitely up there. The motherfucking J-Rock KO, like that set the whole fucking year off, nigga. Like I didn't see that coming, bro. Fuck it, yeah, I gotta say Monster KO too.
Yeah,
like,
Monster KO, Joshua KO and Pulev. You know, I mean,
fuck, you right about that shit. That Joshua KO was brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, there's some more. There was somebody on a trash ass PBC card that had a nasty uppercut early in the year.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I think it was the Money Team. I think the Leo, or Fulton. One of them names, one of those cards. It was. The dude was getting whooped the whole fight.
Yeah, because it was like the opener, like, and dude iced him with the uppercut he didn't see.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I mean, and you could hear it, like that shit, like, because it was so silent, you could hear the impact, like, dude, went like unconscious, like he was out like a light, he was done for the night. And
you can't forget the other Verdejo Nakatani.
Yep.
Once again, shout outs to Joshua. I don't want to mispronounce the last name, so I'll just say Joshua. So much respect, but that fight definitely deserves honorable mention, you know, for a knockout. Like, man,
also fight of the year too, and you know that fight hit a couple of points. Yeah, fight of the year.
Yeah, it was like the Baron Shake Jr.
Yeah.
And that had a great knockout. Fuck. You know, it's hard, bro. Like, Oh, hold on. Didn't Joe Smith damn Alvarez too? Like,
Yeah, Joe Smith Alvarez. That was 2020 knockout.
nigga, how you could fucking
Yeah, that's why I say it could be too. But I mean, like there were a handful of good, some real brutal knockouts this year, especially the uppercut. This was the year of the uppercut.
Oh, damn. Fuck, I don't want to take up much more time. I might have to say fucking fuck the uppercut. I might have to say Monster. Maybe Joshua Palua, because that shit was just cold. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Cause that was a heavyweight knockout too.
Yeah, it was.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah,
Joshua Palua. That shit was brutal. Like.
Yeah, Jake Paul knocking out Nate Robinson. Joshua, thank you for that. Yeah, that one.
Oh man.
You have to put that one there too.
That was another one. Oh fuck. See that man, like yo, bro, like honestly, anyone that I named, you could be is my answer.
Hey, that's real. That's real talk. Because that Jake Paul one, I mean, yeah, that one.
that one was serious too. Damn, ain't the Charlos have a nasty uppercut? I mean,
yeah, has the body shot knockout. Jamel, body shot.
Yeah, the Rosario.
Having him breathing like he was in labor and shit.
I might have to just say Baranchik. Yeah, the Zapita Baranchik KO of the year again. Yeah, KO of the year. Fuck it, cause coming from that knockdown he took and then to score that.
Yeah, and Baranchik too is a hard dude to knock out, and Zapita iced him for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, fuck it. You know what? I remember tweeting that was the fight of the year and KO of the year when it happened.
Yeah,
and we saw some sick KOs afterwards. But now thinking about it and talking about it, it's still the KO of the year for me. So fuck it. That's my pick. But all them other shits I mentioned, honorable mention, super honorable mention.
Yeah, super honorable mention. That's real. AOP. What about you? What are your
Too many good fucking picks. God damn. Now you got me second guessing my pick.
What was your original one?
Well, I'm still gonna stick with my original. I mean, it's between two of them. It's either between Povetkin and White, but my knockout of the year was Tank Santa Cruz. And I don't want to sound like a hype beast, but just the way
that shit was, go ahead and hype away, bro. Like
just the way he hit, and I'm not disclaimer. When I talk about knockouts, I'm not looking into the situation or like, oh, this person was coming in to lose and he got the shocking knockout, just how did the aesthetics of it? How did
no narratives, just the punching.
Yes, and just for however much we talked about the Tank Santa Cruz, and I didn't know, I was critical of it, but the way it ended, oh my gosh, like it was a
yeah. And
see, I was hyped for that fight. Like I looked forward to that fight. So shit, I was happy for it, but that knockout was like I didn't expect the knockout to be that good.
Yeah, it just came out of, not really came out of nowhere, but like just one swift uppercut, and he just, the way he dropped like a ton of like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, he was clean. Yeah, he was done. He was iced.
Yeah, done.
Full Geppetto, Pinocchio, my puppet. Just cut the strings like boom, like. Oh,
and top of that knockout had a crowd. So
yeah.
So the crowd just went absolutely ape shit for that.
And fucking Josh Taylor knockout with the damn body shot was serious too. Like,
yeah, like even if there were a whole lot of fights of the years candidates, there were some brutal knockouts this year. There was plenty of brutal knockouts to go around.
This was 2020 was the year to knockout. Like 2019 was the year of like the fight of the years, and good cards, because I felt like we had some nice boxing nights on 2019.
We did.
But 2020 was like there was no prisoners. Like
Yeah, like some of these cats.
oh no, whoa! It just hit me. How the fuck we forget that damn Kalnaki knockout?
I mean, it's more to me. That was more of an upset more than an actual knockout. I mean, to me, it was just more. Kalnaki kind of like failed. You know, he kind of ran himself into these shots, and you know, and he finally, he took a shot from a faded but seriously heavy-handed fighter that he couldn't take, and then
It was like a hippo keep running into a wall or some shit. I don't know, like.
Yeah,
It was brutal though, but you're right.
Yeah, it wasn't aesthetically pleasing. It was just more or less that dude thought his chin would save him after taking, 300, 400 power punches from Areola, and he got iced for it. Well, I wouldn't say iced. His chin failed him, and it might fail him
Miserably.
Yeah. So as much as like I laughed about that knockout, it wasn't like a KO of the year candidate to me. It was an upset, but it wasn't a KO of the year.
Oh, okay, but I still felt it needed a little mention. I wanted to bring out all the noticeable KOs because might forget about that shit later. When we do upset of the year, they're gonna be bigger upsets probably.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I want to show love to everybody, but how you say it next?
Next, yeah. So the next one is Coach of the Year. And
that's easy for me.
It's ditto for me, but P, set us off, man. Who do you think is who do you think coach/trainer of the year is?
That's not that easy to me. I don't know what y'all talking about.
It's what you look for. Everybody judges the results on their own scale, my friend.
You know what? See, I'm like going back and forth. Part of me wants to say Derek James. I don't want to be too hypebeast. Derek James is up there for me. You could put Reynoso up here. This is tough. I'm still going back and forth.
Damn, how many fights he had besides the Canelo fight? I'm trying to think. Wait.
I mean, wasn't he there? Wait, wasn't he training Ryan though? Ryan Garcia?
Man, that shit happened this year though.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
I ain't gonna give him that.
I'm like, because it was supposed to happen last year, but it happened this year. I'm getting too confused.
The training gonna carry over like prepaid minutes. Well, I trained him mostly from 2020. But okay, I can respect that. I can see what you're saying though.
But I think I'd probably give it to Derek James for his training of both Charlo and Spence, especially Spence, and how he came back and how he, I'll give it to Derek James. But it's close. There are other names too, but it's close.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And then Derek James was my choice too, because he led Charlo to nearly unifying a division, and then, like you said before, he was able to get Spence back from, Spence could have easily gone off the rails in different hands, after that car accident, So I mean, the fact that he actually managed to bring him back, he looked, a little sharper, than he did before, and it's. He did good, and surprisingly too, Derek James didn't get a lot of mention too for in other areas for Trainer of the Year. Not in fact, very little mention, surprisingly.
Reynoso was the hype beast pick of the year.
Yeah, pretty much, because about Canelo, even though Canelo fought only like once this year.
Yeah, that's my whole thing. At least Derek James, he had two different fighters that fought once, so. Mm-hmm. You get like two chances in a way.
Right. And he came up on both can't smell like roses. So it's like I have to that's why it's like I have to give it to him. Because Reynoso's other fighters, there's Valdez and Neri, and I won't even want to talk about what he did with those two, but there were no Canelo level performances from those two.
Yeah. That's like when Abel Sanchez had all those guys losing.
Yeah. You know, like, and truthfully, Neri probably should have lost this year, and he was in the corner for that. And Valdez is,
Oh God, yeah. Valdez was like mid as fuck.
so that's why Reynoso was not the, you know, so yeah, Derek James is my P. What about you, LP?
I know mine's is different. Javon Sugar Hill.
Okay.
Say that again. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sugar Hill.
Okay, respectable. Very, very respectable.
Yeah.
Only because I feel like he literally had coached the biggest, heaviest win of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, you know, what I thought a great trainer would do. You know, he got somebody again that he had before. He saw what Ben Davison did, and, you know, which was excellent work. You know, credit to Ben Davison, shout outs to him. But from there, Javon altered the strategy, looked at the strengths that Fury had. We saw the weaknesses Wilder had. So, you know, even though I know there wasn't too much he could have done, just the fact he fucking did it.
Yeah.
He fucking scored. Like, a lot of people still ain't picked Fury to knock him out. Like, so
Definitely not me. I thought if Fury won, he would have outboxed him. I didn't think he was gonna beat him up the way he did.
Yeah, same.
So I have to give him his props for that, because he trained a whole different version of somebody for a whole different outcome that no one expected. I mean, except for me, but you know.
Yeah, except for you, because LB expected it. He's like, well, you know, that's LB's like thing. He's like, when he calls it, he's like, well, how come everybody else didn't call? Like, nigga.
No, I always fuck with y'all, but the Fury one, I'm sorry, like, Pat knows he's always gonna get shit for that one, because I don't give King P that, because King P was always on some neutral shit, you know, but Pat used to just really, really hate Wilder. The fact that
Pat would shit on Wilder and then pick him to win.
See, and that's the thing, like, so he know he always gonna get that from me, but nah, King P cool. It just, you had to be on the episode to hear it, but you know, don't take it like it's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least now everyone's on board with what I've been saying about Wilder for years, though, which is, you know, everyone.
He would have been like, imagine if Pat would have fucking picked 7-round knockout instead of me. He would literally, he would be God.
You never hear the end of it. I mean, like, the best thing about
to stop hearing the Lomachenko Salido.
I was just gonna say that the best thing about Teofimo winning this year is now we don't have to have fucking Pat rest on his laurels of fucking Salido, because that expired.
And the fact he didn't even fucking pick Lopez. So yeah, that's Salido. Yeah, we leaving that into what, 2019, 2020.
Well, like I said, you know, never say never.
Facts. All right, so let's run them down now. What you got for us?
Next one, upset of the year.
Upset of the year. Wow, that's a J-Rod fight, nigga.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, like
easy. Banana.
You know, like, and first of all, with odds too, it was the second. In terms of odds, it was the second biggest upset in terms of boxing wise on the gambling odds. And on top of that, you know, J-Rock was coming off a godly performance against a guy who's seemingly, you know, who's given everyone a lot of
fucking juggernaut of boxing, junior middleweight, really.
Yeah, and he not only outboxed him,
keep coming.
Like, he outboxed him, he outfought him, and he put hands on him. And this is J-Rock, you know.
He dropped him.
Yeah, and dropped him legit too. And you know, and that was what was. This was like it was like a big what the fuck for everyone that was watching this shit. You know, so it's just like, and it was amazing that J-Rock, you know, he turned another corner. Good for him. And then he goes to Philly because it was a homecoming defense. And you know, he faces a big dude. You know, Rosario. I mean, Harper. I mean, he spent a lot of time on the PBC FS1 cards, and you know, and on the bounce cards in the past. you know, and you thinking like, okay, you know, this is just gonna be random because he's seen someone like Rosario before. But Rosario, once he started letting them combinations go, he did not let up. And J Rock, for whatever reason, decided he was going to catch every single one of them shits.
Pretty much started uppercut season because once that uppercut landed, it was over. That was
over. Yeah, and it was just so white, and it was such a shocking performance because J Rock, you know, pretty much wiped the Charlo knockout from his, you know, from everyone's memory with that title win, and then he gets wiped out even worse. You know,
he still ends up being the promo for somebody else's big fight.
Yeah.
Like, matter of fact, he ended up being promo for Charlo and Rosario for two separate divisions.
Yeah, dog. Like, yeah, that shit is absolutely crazy. You know what I'm saying? So,
my goodness.
Yeah, it has to be like, because you know, everyone was like, you know, I know some of the Philly cats I know, they were not happy with seeing that shit. You know, and then unfortunately, you know, had a negative effect because I think it led to Brad and J Rock, you know, separating, you know, professionally afterwards. You know, so yeah, that fight may have actually changed a career of a fighter. You know.
Like that knockout, like it reverberated, like it had aftershocks to it, you know.
Yeah, and then Joshua mentioned, you know, mentioning Cassius Clay Collard. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, truthfully, Clay Collard was not going to be any of my choices for the superlatives, and mostly because of his final fight.
That's he won the Dog Bay Award.
Yeah, the Dog
Clay Collar's Award. Looked good the whole year, only to fuck up at the end. Now it becomes the Clay Collard Award. I'm sorry, like, and we was hyping him up all year, giving him his props, because, you know, he deserved it, but it ain't how you start sometimes, man. It's how you finish.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, you know,
shout out to Dog Bay. He did make a comeback, and, you know, he's looking on point now, so it ain't the end of the world. We don't look to this shit on people. We just keeping it real.
Yeah, no, with Clay Collard, I mean, yeah, it was nice, you know, Clay Collard, because, you know, they, you know, some people try to use him as a jobber, and then, you know, they realize to put it in prospects. Some of them don't even have their man strength yet, and then they're trading hands with someone who's competent enough going forward boxing, and then they're ending up taking some really bad beatings. You know, like Fajardo in PBC, and then the Jewish kid on Top Rank, Kaminsky, that got sent to the hospital because he got beaten so bad. You know,
he took like a Holyfield ass whooping. Like,
in 6 rounds.
You wake up, the nigga did your whole body sore.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were talking about like the dudes having a little trouble in the locker room, so they had to take him to get checked out. And we haven't heard from that young cat since. You know, so it's like Clay Collard, he deserves a shout out, yeah, though, but it's just that final fight, that rematch that he had, that was from a draw, like that really showed off his limitations, unfortunately, in boxing. And he had them, you know, and yeah, you know, like I said, LB said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And yeah, you know,
and hopefully, you know, somebody else, you know, ends up, well, you don't want to say hopefully, but because you know it's going to happen, but somebody else is going to take that award next year.
Yeah. It never fails, you know.
That's just how it is, you know.
If someone will have a banner year, like a fight, although Clay Collard was never really in the running for fight of the year. Well, he would have if he actually beat an actual contender in a division. You know, if he beat like a top 5 or some shit like that, then, you know, you could give him that. You know, but
Joe Smith for the Alvarez fight, you know, could get honorable mention for like the upset.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't think he would win that. And White Povetkin.
Yeah,
that definitely deserves a mention. Because no one was giving Povetkin a shot.
Yeah,
but you knew he had one.
Yeah, you know, because he punched hard. You know, Povetkin has heat in both hands,
and so, he an Olympian, so you know it's hard to count an Olympian with knockout power in both hands. Like, I don't care how old he is. Shit.
Absolutely. You know, so there was some really significant upsets this year. You know, and
Lopez was an upset.
It was, and
but J Rock, I think the Rosario J Rock takes it for me though.
Yeah, because it was just shocking, and like everyone was just not expecting that type of ass whooping.
And it started the whole year off, like,
Yeah.
because it started off a string of upsets the whole year.
Fact.
Kalnaki, Wilder getting knocked out, Lomachenko fucking just because we on upset award, I'm gonna just add another one to that to piggy off. If there was somebody who was gonna win the random unknown Asian fighter of the year award for ring, gotta be that what's his name? Plano?
Mike Plania. Yeah, that one.
Plania, yeah.
And that one was fun because that one was the only upset that was buzzing literally like for like all day. Like I remember like for a couple of days, like was like, oh no, Plania might do this. Like I never heard of any upset that was buzzing like this. And then you get in the ring and you see Plania, it's like, oh, so that's what it's all about. This dude's getting knocked around. He's knocking Greer the fuck down with one punch. Like, you know,
that fight definitely needed a mention. So I'm glad I was remembering that shit.
Yeah, that Plania fight was just like, you know, just like they kept saying that shit all fucking day. Yeah, you know, Plania was right for an upset, and none of us had actually seen Plania fight. And Greer was kind of having his shaky moments around that time, but no one expected that loss.
Yeah, so that definitely deserves a mention. That might be like if J-Rock is if Rosario is one, that one's definitely two.
Yeah, no, that's real talk, man. That's So there was some interesting upsets this year, man. You know, and of course, you know, I'll give a special mention to Triple G's boy Akhmedov, you know, who, you know, a prospect in this division getting brutally knocked out by, you know, uppercuts, you know, on the Triple G. Yeah, on Triple G's last card. Yeah, that was unexpected too. He was not supposed to win that fight either. So.
Yeah. So what number we at right now? Like,
so we are at 6.